now at 6. Ridership is rebounding, but a budget gulf remains for San Francisco's transit agency, and that means uncertain times for riders.
I'm visually challenged, so to go in distances is a bit of a challenge.
We'll ride along with one elderly passenger who hopes the city can figure out how to save the service he depends on.
This bus is a real lifeline.
Plus, downpours mixed with clear blue skies. How long this weather whiplash will last before things really clear up. And she was told she was unfit for the U.S. Army because she was transgender.
And that puts this thing in there in people's heads that you're not worth dying for this country.
How this former service member is fighting to help those like her avoid the same fate. And later,
we are the first peoples of these lands, and we're still here.
We'll meet the leaders of a historic Bay Area tribe hoping to reclaim San Francisco's Presidio. Why their plans will likely run into some major resistance.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. We've talked a lot about Bay Area transit agencies facing a fiscal cliff once the pandemic grant money dries up. And that's still true. But the good news in San Francisco is that riders are slowly but surely returning to Muni. According to SFMTA, the number of Muni rides jumped by more than 9% from 2023 to last year. And daily ridership is roughly 3/4 of what it was before the pandemic. But big questions remain about Muni's future ahead of a key meeting on service cuts as SFMTA faces a $300 million deficit next year. Our Kara St. Cyr spoke to a Muni rider who hopes the agency finds a better solution.
Ronan Byrne relies on Muni.
There's a lot of elderly people, like I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm visually challenged. So to go in distances is a bit of a challenge as well. So this bus is a real lifeline.
His route on the 43 is one of Muni's busiest. It hits major stops like USF and City College, picking up about 9,000 riders a day. Lately, Ronan says he's been seeing more people on his route.
A dramatic difference, people who are getting out of their houses and going back to shop, people even stepping out to go get a coffee. So I've noticed ridership is increasing.
Ronan's not imagining things. SFMTA saw 75% recovery in ridership last year, increasing by 13.5 million trips from the year prior.
Doors are opening.
Simon Hochberg with SFMTA says 7 routes, including the 49, 22, and 14R, actually serviced more riders than they did pre-pandemic.
These lines just on their own make up over 40% of those ridership gains that we noticed coming from 2023 to 2024. So these routes are continuing to grow and continuing to be to provide service that people need and are looking for.
Hochberg says the gains go hand in hand with investments Muni made.
Calling out that the places and the routes where we're seeing these ridership gains are the same routes where we're investing in frequent service and we're making investments in reliability.
Still, Muni's rebound in ridership could run into gridlock. Tomorrow, the SFMTA is set to vote on several service cuts that would help address the agency's $300 million budget deficit. State Senator Scott Wiener and other lawmakers have already proposed emergency legislation in order to supplement that shortfall.
It is in everyone's interest to make sure that we have high-functioning transit.
Lisa Platt, a member of Muni Now, Muni Forever, says one solution to keeping riders happy is smaller wait times in between pickups.
Buses that used to run every 8 or 10 minutes now run every 15 minutes, which means if you miss it, you're probably not going to wait 15 minutes for the next one. You're just going to call a ride.
Ronan hopes the city doesn't wait too long to make the right choices for Muni.
I'd even suggest that to some of our politicians. Get out of your cars and ride the bus a bit more often.
The proposed cuts SFMTA is voting on tomorrow would save just over $7 million, but they still have a $50 million deficit for this fiscal year. VTA Light Rail is back in Santa Clara County, at least in part. Last week, a judge issued an order ending the VTA strike. Bus service started on Friday, but the light rail needed to be inspected. The orange line and part of the blue lines are running. They are still doing safety checks on the green line. Turning now to the weather. We've had some scattered downpours across the Bay Area today. even when the sun has been out and the wind has remained. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan with how long this unsettled weather is going to last.
About another 24 hours. Tomorrow's going to be very similar today with scattered showers throughout the day. This is the radar replay over the last 12 hours. We started with some light rain showers for the morning commute, a little break in the action, then some more showers around midday, and a little break in the action before a band of heavier rain developed and marched right across San Francisco around the middle of the afternoon. That continues to progress farther and farther to the east and southeast. It's been bringing a little bit more rain to San Jose over the past hour or so. That batch of rain moving out, but there's still scattered showers left out there this evening. And it's going to be like this as we head through tonight and much of tomorrow. This is Futurecast just through 8 a.m. tomorrow. It shows the scattered showers continuing, but then a little break in the action, then more scattered showers, then another break in the action. In between, it's going to be cool. It's going to be breezy. Another day to grab the rain jacket on the way out the door because we're not going to be needing it for the intermittent showers, but also just to stay warm with high temperatures only reaching up into the 50s tomorrow. Let's take a look at how much rain we've added up over the past 24 hours. And the amounts have been generally modest given the intermittent nature of the showers. Just over a half inch of rain for Ben Lomond, about a third of an inch of rain in San Francisco. A lot of that fell between 3 and 3:30, and then less than a quarter inch of rain for the rest of the Bay Area. It's not a lot, but here in late March and early April, still at the point in the rainy season where we'd like to take every drop that we can get. A few more drops tomorrow. We'll track those with a longer look at Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Paul, thank you. In other news, remember scenes like this? Car after car with broken windows. Well, after an all-time high in 2017, San Francisco's police chief says car break-ins are down in the city. That record number was more than 32,000 break-ins in 2017. Last year, it was about a third of that, with 9,500 reported break-ins. And the chief says this year it's trending even lower. He credits changes in policy and technology.
The flock cameras and our drone program and more access to surveillance video technology, that has been a game changer. It has allowed us to solve some of these crimes, particularly in progress. We've been making arrests as the crimes have occurred and shortly thereafter.
The chief says the policy change allowing them to use spike strips has helped them with arrests and stopping chases. He says their drone program is now in all of their 10 districts. Bans on transgender people serving in the military can have some serious consequences in terms of military readiness. President Trump issued an executive order banning transgender people from service on January 27th, and it has faced a multitude of legal challenges. Transgender service members worry about what this ban could mean for readiness and morale. Our Lauren Toms gives us a deeper look at the issue.
When Meredith Morgan Wallace raised her right hand to join the U.S. Army in 2018, she didn't do it for glory. She did it for something bigger, a calling beyond herself.
I've always thought that there's nothing more brave and noble than, I guess, putting your life on the line for people you don't know.
Wallace enlisted before her transition, just as President Donald Trump declared that transgender Americans would no longer be welcome in uniform. As she began sharing her truth with her fellow soldiers, the military put her through a series of psychological evaluations, and soon after, she was discharged.
I don't know what being on estrogen would have made a difference about me getting shot in the chest. I still would have gotten shot in the chest. And whether or not my homie over here, he was born female. He's still my brother over here, and that doesn't change the fact that I lost him.
President Biden reversed the ban in 2021, allowing transgender people to serve openly again. But Wallace knew if Trump returned to power, transgender troops would be back in the crosshairs. The Pentagon estimates nearly 9,000 active duty troops identify as transgender. The military remains the largest employer of transgender people in the country. Wallace says policies that strip them of their uniforms strip them of their humanity.
Right. This is the start of are trans people fit to live in our society at all? You're not fit enough to die for us, and that puts this thing in there in people's heads that you're not worth dying for this country, and if you're not worth dying for this country, your death is meaningless.
Kira Brinya joined the Army National Guard right out of high school. Like Wallace, she served before her transition and says it's military readiness that suffers in the wake of the policy.
So I think it does affect the whole group because you're going to be just putting your own troops against each other. You know, you're going to be tearing apart the glue that holds units together, which is really a sense of camaraderie and love and connection.
Trump's reinstated ban instructs each branch to identify service members undergoing treatment for gender dysphoria and remove them within 30 days. But for Wallace, what's at stake goes far beyond policy. It's about what's lost in the sacrifice of service.
The person I am because of that time is a much better person. And the people, my trans siblings, who have given that time, made the choice to dedicate their lives to something and lose that time that they could be with people they love or experiencing other things people their age should be experiencing. And they're never going to get that time back. And they're never going to get that part of themselves back that they lose through that.
Hopeful the military they once vowed to serve will one day stand behind them.
Last week, a federal district court issued an injunction against President Trump's executive order banning trans people from serving in the military. The Trump administration tried to have that injunction put on hold, but today the Ninth Court of Appeals denied that request. All right, still ahead here at 6. As President Trump takes aim at the Presidio, a historic local tribe is hoping they can take advantage as they fight for federal recognition.
Why isn't there an Indigenous person, an Ohlone representative here? We are the first peoples of these lands, and we're still here.
And later, from above, it looks like piles of rocks or an oil slick, but it's actually an unusual sea creature that's taking over a North Bay beach. San Francisco's Presidio has been transformed from an army base to a national park, but early in its history, it was home to the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. Now that President Trump has issued an executive order aimed at scaling back the Presidio Trust, members of the tribe see an opportunity to regain ownership of the land. Suji Nam talked with them about what is next.
Charlene Nijma is walking through Crissy Field in the Presidio, the same land her ancestors, the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, lived thousands of years ago.
This is where the fort was created to bring the Indians in to start building the mission system.
Charlene is the chairwoman of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of San Francisco Bay, representing more than 600 members.
Why are we spread out? Because of gentrification. We're spread out because people have moved us around.
She is fighting to restore ownership of the Presidio back to their tribe in the wake of President Donald Trump signing an executive order last month to drastically reduce the functions of the Presidio Trust. The trust was established by Congress in 1996 to maintain the former U.S. Army base along with businesses and recreational parks in the Presidio. It has been financially independent from the government since 2013.
Why isn't there an Indigenous person, an Ohlone representative here? We are the first peoples of these lands, and we're still here.
Joey Iolopishli Torres, a culture bearer and tribal member, says it's more than just about representation. It's about keeping the legacy of their ancestors alive.
The areas of this village waterline was the trade route. Before anything, we had relationships. It wasn't just what you see now with bridges and buildings.
The Muwekma Ohlone tribe has not been federally recognized since the Bureau of Indian Affairs omitted them more than 40 years ago. The tribe recently traveled on horseback across the country to Washington, D.C. to demand recognition. Charlene is continuing to fight for those protections and hopes that her letter to the White House asking to restore Presidio ownership is one step forward. Brandon Phillips, who teaches at Cal State East Bay, says, however, this is an uphill battle.
It does not really fall in line with what this administration has signaled it wants to do, rather than hand control of this land over to a group like the tribe. It would be more likely that the Trump administration would want to find some way to generate revenue off of this land.
He adds there will be more legal action.
I would anticipate that the first action is going to be court action. This is going to go to the federal courts.
Charlene and Joey say, however, they won't lose hope.
I will stay with the hope that we have that one day we will steward these lands.
Through their voice, they hope to keep the history of the Muwekma Ohlone people alive.
Suji did reach out to the Presidio Trust. They said no to an interview, but they did say they are not receiving any federal money, so they are not costing taxpayers anything. Senator Alex Padilla wants to make McDonald Hall in San Jose into a national park. He made the announcement today on Cesar Chavez Day. The labor leader used the hall during his early years as an organizer. The proposed park would have multiple locations in California and Arizona connected to the farm worker movement. Coming up, no Cinderellas, but still plenty of drama on tap for this year's Final Four. How the top-seeded Houston Cougars punched their tickets to San Antonio. It's really starting to look like spring. We're going to show you where to go if you want to see the super bloom in person. I love this saying, spring has sprung. Our chopper flew over the super bloom on Mount Diablo this morning. You can see the patches of wildflowers just covering the mountain. It is all thanks to the winter storms and the intermittent rain that we've been getting. We also sent photojournalist Alex Montano out to Walnut Creek to just frolic in the fields. This is at the Shell Ridge Open Space. Poppies have started popping up all around. We spoke with one mom who took this chance to get her son out of the house.
First day of spring break, take my son out, let him have some time with the nature instead of playing game at home.
Son off the phone, we're going for a walk. All right, let's take you to the Sierra now. Palisades Tahoe got up to 10 inches of snow overnight, bringing their snowfall total this season to 347 inches. Wow. So they sent us this video of it snowing. As you can see, skiers taking advantage of the fresh powder. Look at that. Okay, so Paul, I want to go.
More on the way, too.
That much snow, but it's sunny and you can have a burger at lunchtime and all that goes with it.
So this weekend, then.
Okay, this weekend.
Yeah, looks like it'd be pretty good for that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't, though, this weekend.
It's rarely that easy when she asks for something
Darn.
specific. I'm like, yeah, you can do that on Friday.
Okay. All right. Just not during the week.
Well, this weekend looks like it should be good, too, if
All
you're going
right.
to be heading up in that direction.
Well, good information. And where are we headed now with our storm and our
One more day
spring?
of
Okay.
unsettled weather. So let's get into the details of that. We still have the storm system hanging out close enough to us that we're going to stay in this unsettled pattern for one more day. That swirl of clouds off to our northwest is the heart of the storm system, and it's still directing a lot of its moisture and energy towards the Pacific Northwest, but enough across the Bay Area to result in the scattered showers that we've seen today and the breezy, cool conditions that are going to be with us for one more day. And even as we dry out on Wednesday, it's still going to be on the breezy side and still on the cool side as well. Let's take a look at First Alert Doppler, where things stand right now. And we don't have a lot of shower activity out there at the moment, but we still have some. Current view shows scattered showers making their way to the east and southeast of San Jose. That's the batch of rain that rolled through San Francisco around 3:30 this afternoon. Elsewhere, scattered light showers for the most part. Slightly heavier shower here along Highway 4 in between Oakland and just to the east of Richmond. We're looking at some more showers in the North Bay. This is lighter rainfall, but still enough to wet down the roads. Slow it down whenever you're driving through one of those showers and allow some extra stopping distance. Let's switch over to Futurecast. And the future radar shows more scattered showers as we head through tonight. This takes us, this first animation, through 5 a.m. tomorrow, and it's going to be the same pattern we had today. Shower, then a dry break, then another shower, some locally heavy downpours, including for the morning commute. Allow some extra time. It's not a guarantee that it's going to be raining on you, but it's certainly a possibility. And there are more scattered showers in the forecast for the first half of Tuesday. Once we get past about midday, that's when the showers are going to start to become fewer and farther between. They're still going to be out there. Let's hit that button again here and make sure the showers actually show up on the map. They are going to be out there, but gradually the rain becomes a bit more sparse, a little bit lighter. And after the sun goes down tomorrow evening, the last of the sprinkles are going to quiet down, and then we get into that dry pattern that's going to carry us through the end of the work week and into the weekend. High temperatures in between those showers are going to be cool, mostly mid to upper 50s. One of the warm spots is going to be Fairfield at 60 degrees. Pretty much everybody else between 54 and 59. That's unusually cool for the first day of April. Our high temperatures are supposed to be in the 60s across the entire Bay Area. Some inland spots, normal highs are getting up close to 70 degrees in early April. We're going to be well short of that tomorrow, but there is warmer air a little bit farther down the line. Now, the cooler temperatures are going to actually feel even cooler because of the wind energy that's going to be produced by this latest spoke of energy rotating around that parent storm system. 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts tomorrow afternoon. While Wednesday is going to be a breezy day, it's not going to be as blustery as tomorrow. So tomorrow, the windiest conditions we're going to see for a while. Still a noticeable breeze on Wednesday, but things should be starting to calm down at least a little bit. Not exactly ideal beach weather for Maisie in the dog walking forecast. She looks happy nonetheless, but maybe just postpone the longer walks to the beach time until later this week. It's going to be cool. It's going to be showery. It's going to be breezy tomorrow. Later this week, that's when we get back into suns out, tongues out weather for your furry friends, so they can look forward to that along with everybody else. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast, and we'll start along the coast where temperatures are going to reach up into the low to mid 60s by Saturday and Sunday, slightly above average for the first weekend in April, and then starting to retreat a little bit as another shower chance heads our way Sunday night into Monday. Bayside temperatures are going to warm up to a greater extent, up to around 70 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. That's about 3 to 5 degrees above normal. Farther inland, the warm-up will be most noticeable, where temperatures are going to climb up into the low to mid-70s for the first weekend in April. So as we make our way into the new month, if you're tired of the cool, breezy, wet weather pattern, there is relief from that right around the corner.
Tired of it.
You got to be patient.
Okay.
Not
Are
exactly
these
a strong
new
suit.
spring shoes?
No, these are old spring shoes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice combo. Looks
Thank
good.
you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Match you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Moving on, when we come back, what is going on with these jellyfish-like creatures that took over a North Bay beach? And here's what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
We take a swing at a new debate among fans of the national pastime. Will a baseball bat shaped like a bowling pin change the game? That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
In just 2 weeks, we've gone from 68 teams down to 4 in the NCAA men's tournament. Vern Glenn has more on who's headed to college basketball's biggest stage.
This is the Northern California Honda dealers Madness Minute.
The Final Four is set, and all 4 1 seeds are heading to San Antonio. Kelvin Sampson's Houston Cougars will have the shortest trip after they won the Midwest Regional. Sampson and Tennessee coach Rick Barnes in Indianapolis shared a pregame moment before the Midwest finale. 3 minutes left. Emmanuel Sharp from deep made it an 18-point lead. Sharp scored 14 of his 16 in the second half, and the top seed Cougars won it 69-50 to advance to their first Final Four since 2021.
I'm more excited than I'm letting on right now. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for these kids. My son and my daughter, my 2 grandkids, and my wife. I feel good for them too, because they have to put up with a cranky old coach sometime.
With the Madness Minute, I'm Vern Glenn.
All right, from basketball to baseball, we are bringing you the Battle of the Bay 2.0. It's a matchup between the San Jose Giants and the Oakland Ballers. They're playing at Excite Park in San Jose. You can catch all the action at home this Wednesday at 6 p.m. on KPIX Plus. An interesting discovery along Bolinas Beach in Marin County. This may look like a pile of gravel on the sand, but it's actually a jellyfish-like creature called Velella velella, or by-the-wind sailors. Okay, so let's take a look. These blobs are a flat oval shape and are usually a bluish color. By-the-wind sailors are not true jellyfish, but are related to them. So they are normally found in Northern California beaches in the spring or early summer months. This same time last year, by-the-wind sailors popped up along Ocean Beach. Look, can you see them there? And that happening in San Francisco. So these blobs had lost their blue color by this point. All right, watch your step. There they are. That's a pretty blue. Hope they don't sting. Here's a better look at the creature, a blue color. You can see they have a clear sail attached to the body. It allows them to catch the wind and travel through ocean currents.